Hello, welcome back to another episode of Orcs Must Die. This is Larry, and we left off defeating the corner, the third level. So we've beaten 3 levels. As you can see, we've gotten 5 skulls on each. Don't believe we have enough skulls to upgrade anything yet. So we've already upgraded our tar trap here. Everything else is 8 or higher. So we will just continue and move on to our next level, the baths. I'll probably try to do 3 episodes again, just to try to get through this. There's 25, so I don't want it to take insanely long, but the levels do get longer and longer as we go on, so I'll keep that in mind as well. Alright, so let's move on to the baths. And our new weapon here is the wind belt. Wind belt is very useful
not much
weapon.
room to work with here. It's a short walk for the orcs from the gate to the rift. But those acid pits will come in handy.
Yeah, so our hero there, his dialogue, he just talked about these acid baths, which can be very useful for you. They can be dangerous if you fall into them. You will die immediately and lose 5 rift points. The previous episode I said you lose 3, but that's in the sequel, Orcs Must Die 2. In this one you lose 5 rift points. But you can also knock the orcs into the acid baths and then they will die, which can be very useful. And that's where your wind bracelet is going to come in very handy. So I'm going to go ahead and select the wind bracelet. We're going to take our usual weapons, a tar trap, which, like I said, we will always take. Got an arrow wall, take our floor scorcher, and our acid bombs, which are fun. So let's take a look at, let's take a look at the design of this level. This level has just one door entrance, but there are 2 paths the orcs are going to take to get to the rift. They can come around this wall. They're going to come either around the right or they will come around the left. What that means is we don't want to place our traps back here because we'd have to split our traps up. So we need to create a bottleneck. There's not as much room here for a bottleneck as we've had on the previous levels. The bottleneck room here is just a couple tiles long. So we would want to push that a little further in here where there's wide open space. It doesn't leave me as much room for things like my wall traps and other items, but I believe we have enough firepower to take care of that. So I'm going to go ahead and place my tar traps.
How about some of this?
Like I said before, we're going to place them too wide because they can't walk around them. So we'll place those 2 wide. We have room for the arrow wall, so we'll put one here.
This'll be fun.
And we will save our money for later in the level. So I'm gonna try to use the wind. Basically, the way the wind bracelet works is you just click on it and you push. Like if you're in front of the enemies, you push them. And it'll throw them backwards. Sometimes you just might want to throw them backwards just to get them away from you. But a lot of times you can take advantage of this, and I can throw them into the acid baths, and you'll see what I mean when it happens. But you'll also notice that this uses up mana. The little blue bar goes down. So there's only a certain number of times that I'm able to use that. So I don't want to rely on it too much. And also, the more mana I spend on that, the less I can do my acid bombs, which I've had a lot of fun with on the first 3 levels. Alright, so let's unleash the horde and see what happens.
They're breaking through!
I'm not doing very good at the headshots here. Use the acid here. Another acid bomb. give you an idea of what the one bracelet does. So get close to them, I can throw them back. That wasn't very good toss. You want to be accurate when you use it. So they're all bunched up. That'll be a good acid bomb. Another acid bomb.
Nice. Ugh, what a mess.
Here, go ahead and throw him into the acid. And he's dead.
Let's do it again.
Died in a little acid bath. So, let's see here. What do we want to do? Could put another arrow wall up. I think that's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and maximize my arrow walls here first, just in case they do get by. Several of them are getting uncomfortably close. And now we got our stupid orc warriors, which I do not enjoy.
What a mess. Pleasure.
Drink one of my potions here to restore my life.
Bye-bye, little guys.
Gonna push him into that acid bath on the side there. Now I can send all of them back into the traps. So I got a little dicey there. Several of them got through. I'll go ahead and put another arrow wall here. Let's start building out our
This will be
tar
good.
traps so we can bunch them up a little bit more. And I'll go ahead and drink another potion.
Good times, good times.
Let's sit to the side just to stay away from those crossbow guys. They're really, really irritating. I wasn't close enough to him on that one. Ooh. Now I'm about to die, so I'm gonna get here.
Winning.
Alright, so killed them. That guy got really close to the rift. That's the closest we've had anyone to the rift. So that was a little dicey. But
Last thing
we
you'll
made it
ever
through.
see.
So let's build out some more tar. And actually, we build the tar on the edges here and kind of bunch them up on the sides. It's going to be a good way to use that wind belt. I have to be a little more aggressive here. Acid bombs are really useful. Probably stick to those. I would try to use the wind bracelet earlier on. Out of mana now, so should do it. But the wind bracelet, pretty situational, and right now the acid bombs are working best for me. some progress here.
A little present for you.
Actually, we don't need to bunch them up on the sides. Instead, actually, let's put some of our trusty force scorchers here.
This won't hurt a bit.
Only get one in. Need to earn a little bit more money. And these stupid crossbow guys are already here. Let's play it safe. Rebuild my life. So we did pretty good there. Let's put three. I'll put 3 scorchers here. This pretty much covers much arc as I can. I really need to prevent them because it gets dicey. Because if I'm on one side, if they get past this point, several of them, they could split up into 2, and it'll be hard to take care of them on both sides. So. Throw my bomb very well though. There's a little potion, we'll go ahead and drink that. Dead. Dead. I think we're gonna be good now. Just relying on my acid bombs. It's keeping me pretty safe. Stay out of the arc. Like I said earlier, I can detonate my acid bombs on my own. Or I can just leave them there and let my traps detonate them, and it just does extra damage. That's a safer way to do that if I want to avoid the crossbow guys. And we've beaten the level. So, did we get our 5 skulls? Oh, we only got 4 on this one. So, let's see. So, it took too long is probably what happened here. And yep, I needed to do that in 7.5 minutes. Only did it in 7:53. It's not the worst thing in the world, it just slows up our upgrading, so I probably will come back and beat that. You can't beat it and then get... So like if I beat it and get 5 skulls, I'm not going to get 5 skulls on top of the 4. If I earn 5 skulls, it'll give me the extra one. You can earn 5 skulls per level no matter how many times you play it. So I'll probably come back and do that at another moment. But it's just 1 skull, and it's not a huge deal. And so let's go back and take a look. See if there's any upgrades we want to do. We have 11 now, so we could upgrade our arrow walls. And what is that going to do? Triggers from further out, so I like that. And I'm going to go ahead and buy that upgrade, because the arrow walls are very, very useful. So, accepted. Alright, so our arrow walls will shoot further out. Find that very, very helpful. Let's move on to the next level. Ooh, now we get our Archer Guardian. Archer Guardian is going to be very, very useful, just like with the Tar Trap and the Arrow Wall. I'm going to use them on almost every level. There might be a few levels I don't use them. I might use, there's dwarves that'll come in later that are very, very useful in certain situations, but the Archers are insanely useful, and they can bail you out in many situations. So the archers are going to be really good, especially in some of the levels where there are different areas you need them to cover.
Is it just me, or do these attacks seem more organized?
So let's take a look at this level. This is Runner's
Alley. All
Alley.
the enemies bunch up for mass slaughtering.
So this is Runner's Alley, and so let's take a look. I have not played this level in a while, so I'm refamiliarizing myself with it. So it looks like there's 2 entrance doors, but there's still only 1 path. So the only trouble I'm going to run into here is the time, and I haven't looked up and seen exactly what the timing is on. They're not going to go through there, are they? Remember, you can always follow the white lights. It'll show you which path. Yeah, I'm just making sure the orcs aren't going to come through this tunnel. This tunnel is just The way I guess I could put my archers up here to shoot at them. Yeah, that's not necessarily anything I need to do. So, there's two doors, as you see, this door and this door, but they both are going to end up coming down this hallway to the rift. We have our little useless paladin guardian. He moves really slowly. It's not very strong, but he's there. He'll try to help us out. So I could create the bottleneck here, and it's definitely where I want to start out, but the problem is it's going to take a little bit longer to kill because the enemies who come through here are not going to have anything going on until they get all the way to these traps. So I might, depending on how much money I earn, I might want to start moving some traps up here, even though it's only going to work against these enemies. We'll see how that works as we go on, but this is clearly the natural bottleneck point. Although, as you see here, I don't have a very helpful wall here. I don't think that's going to let me place traps there. But let's go ahead and take a look. Open our spellbook. We're going to take our... Well, actually, we probably won't take the Wind of Bell. Yeah, because we want our archers. So we're going to take the tar trap. We're going to take the arrow wall. Yeah, that makes sense. So here, I'll put my acid bombs here. And we'll get the tar trap, the arrow wall, the archer, and the floor scorcher. So, the archers are really, really nice to have. And so what we're going to do is I'm just actually start with them. And I'm just going to place them as guardians down this hallway. So, give them a little bit of room to kill. So I'll place them right here. There are 600 points. I can only place 4, but that's a good start. So I'm just going to place 4 here. And we'll probably build a lot of those. There's a limit to how many archers you can have on each level. But probably won't reach that in this early on in the game. So they've come through this door. Now these, we have new enemies here, the kobold runners. These guys are really, really irritating.
They're in the south hall. They're almost there.
Let's see, one got through, so we're not going to get 5 skulls on this. Archers did not successfully defeat them. I have to figure out how to deal with that. I was not prepared there. A little rusty on my game. So, put another archer here. Hopefully that'll cover some of the gaps. If we have enough archers, next few levels we'll build some arrow walls and some tar traps to slow them down. It's really irritating that that one guy got through. And it's these stupid... stupid crossbow guys. I really hate them. Your archers can die, obviously. The enemies will attack them. So let's start putting some tar up here. Start it right here on the corner. Or actually, we only need it right there and there. Alright. It's a start. Took care of the kobolds. There's one guy there. There he is. Alright, we got all the kobold runners that time. And that was my fault earlier. When I did the spell loadout, it showed me all the new enemies, and I forgot about the kobold runners. So.
A little present for you.
Lesson learned.
One for you, and one for you.
Keep
This'll hurt.
So, but let's go ahead and get some of our arrow walls up. As you see, what I was saying earlier is, oh, it looks like I can build one with them inside there. But there's like a little gap here, I can't build one. So sometimes you'll run into levels where you can't build all of your weapons where you might want to. So this is an example here, just this little area, and I wasn't sure I would be able to put them there, but it looks like I can. You'll find some more complex layouts, and it won't necessarily be easy to build all the traps that you want. We'll go ahead and place an arrow wall there, and then there, and then we'll do two more. Do it right here. Two more tar traps. Oh, no, I have enough. Alright, so we'll unleash for the next level. And I gotta remember not to spend as much time doing that, because again, I'm being timed as I go through those aspects. Alright, let's take care of these guys before they start shooting. Out of mana, so let's start shooting. And I do have to remember, the other thing I don't always remember is I can right click and stun them. That does cost mana with my crossbow. So if I don't have enough mana for the acid bombs, I can stun them with my crossbow, which I probably should have done to the kobolds at that first stage, but that is old news. So let's build, we can build two more guys. So the archers are taking good care of the kobolds now. I just heard a couple of them squeal as they died. Always a fun sound to hear. Yeah, I need to go try to kill these guys quickly. The guys coming down this hallway are going to be a problem. Try not to get caught up in the crossbow fire. Let's go. Replenish my life here. Alright, I'm going to trust my crossbow guys to take care of. Maybe I can kill some of these guys early, and then I won't get screwed on the timing. We're running in a little bit of trouble here. Come back and help them out. Oh, no, 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 no! No. Alright, so that was a mistake. Alright, well, we beat the level, but I got a little careless. And let's see how many skulls I'm gonna get. Alright, only 3 skulls, so I definitely will come back and play that one later. Definitely not going to have any money for upgrades. As we can see for the archers, I can make them cheaper. If I have 14 skulls to spend, I can make them cheaper. I believe they go down to $500, which is very, very useful. Alright, let's move on to the last level of this episode. And now we're going to get the barricade. Barricade's going to be another very, very useful item, especially on levels that are going to have multiple rifts. And I believe this one that we're about to play is going to be an example of that. So it's called
attack where our
Overpass.
defenses are thin? If I
So
didn't
let's
know
take
better,
a look.
I think the orcs were learning.
There's not multiple rifts here, but the orcs are going to come in from this door, and they have 2 paths to the rift. There's 2 different ways they can go. They can come all the way up this stairway and along this passageway here to the rift, or they can take a right turn and then come down this hallway straight to the rift. Now, that is obviously the shorter path to the rift. The problem is, I think, even though it's a shorter path to the rift, that's actually the better bottleneck situation. Yeah. This one doesn't have really good walls. As we see here, like I was mentioning, I can't place traps along these windows. It has to be a blank wall. So this hallway is really, really bad. I do not want to fight them in this hallway. This low ceiling is nice if I had some like some swinging spikes, but I do not have those yet. So the reason I was going to talk about that is we're going to use our new weapon, the barricade. So let's go ahead and pick our weapons for this one. Now I have 6 slots, so a little bit of extra firepower. I'm going to go back to the acid bombs. We're definitely going to use our archers. We're going to have our tar trap, our arrow wall, our floor scorcher, and we will have our friend, the barricade. Fortunately, the barricades are very expensive. Let's take a look again. So we're going to have the kobold runners again. Very, very irritating. There's going to be some spells later on that are very, very useful against the kobold runners. One of them is lightning, and you can just basically cast a lightning cloud and it will take care of a lot of enemies in an area. That's one of the best ways to get rid of the kobolds. So until that, they're going to be a nuisance. Although the archers are generally good enough as long as I place enough of them down. But so it's the same style of enemies that we had in the last one. So what we want to do here, what we're going to do with the barricades, is block off their path. So I've got to use 3 of them.
Ooh, shiny.
So 3 of them, and I don't really have much left over after I do that. I only have $600, so I'm not going to get an archer because he's just going to get killed standing there all by himself, probably. So I'm going to do a little arrow wall right there. So what the barricades do, even though it's kind of silly in the game, obviously this wouldn't stop anyone, but it does stop the enemies. They will think they can't go over that, and they will instead, the ones that would have gone down that hallway, they will all now go down this hallway. So I'm basically forcing them into my bottleneck point. And we'll go ahead and start at that point.
They're breaking through!
Taking care of them. These guys are dead. Alright, we took care of them. We still don't have a lot of cash for our archers. I think I will go ahead and build one here in case we're going to have some kobolds running through. We can take a few of them out. He's actually doing a pretty good job on them because they're all running the wrong way. Because they think they'll run. Oh, see, this guy got loose.
They're almost there.
How did he get in there? I couldn't shoot him. Alright, so once again, we'll let one guy get in. And let's get another archer up so prevent more from getting in.
My bow is yours.
Oh, get back here. Alright, so they got past my archers, but the little stopping point brought them back to life. So let's create a couple more. So I've got 4 archers. I do need to start creating some tar traps. I'll create 1 for now. I know we've got a pretty big, as you see, there's a big enemy grouping now, so it's going to get pretty difficult. Whoa. So that one got really dicey. They got very, very close. So we need some more tar traps for sure.
A little present for you. Some new decorations. Ooh, here's a good one.
Right. Alright, so took care of a few waves. Alright, so we're getting a little better as we slow them up. I probably should have put the tar traps down a little sooner. But we're in pretty good shape now. Gonna put another arrow wall up. And the tar slows the kobolds up too, so. Alright, so. About a couple more archers. I'm gonna go ahead and start while I build, because we definitely don't want to run out of time on this level. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we've got 6 archers now. And it's a little dicey again. Where are you going? You're not going anywhere. And so now they're attacking my archers. You always get warning when that happens, so I'm going to have to take care of these guys myself. Where are you going? Where are you going? You're not going anywhere. Alright, so we beat the level. That one got a little tricky there at the end, but we are successful. And how many skulls are we going to get? Well, we got 4, so we only lost... So we actually did this level in enough time to get that extra skull, and I only lost 1 skull for that one stupid kobold that got through. So, we're in good shape. Go ahead before we call it quits here. I'll see where we're at on our skull upgrades. We have 10 skulls. Not enough to do what we want to do. I could upgrade the boom barrel, but I don't like it. My next upgrade that I probably will want to get either the archers or the barricades. Yeah, the barricades will become cheaper, and that's going to be very, very helpful. It'll give you a little bit of extra money. I had to spend almost all my money at the beginning of this level just to buy those, to put those barricades up, or we would have been in much worse shape. So that was episode 2 of Orcs Must Die. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be back next time, and please leave me any feedback in the comments. Have a good night.